Before I start going on about how I've done the models, I will first explain how I have almost finished my pitch. The only possible thing I could add in the future is concept art or early design models, which is why I believe I'll get my models done and then I'll just update this with some images of the models in their earliest designs. But the noticeable changes, of course, is the any questions, some minor adjustments to my pitch by fixing some errors that have been found, and other than that, that's it. Okay, and I will pause and come back to where I show you my engine model. So what you're seeing now is the base model for the engine. As shown in the back, I followed heavily closely to the concept art I've done in the past, and I've tried keeping it as closely accurate as I could possibly. I believe I've done a very good job at making this base model, and I hope it imports well into Unreal. What I've also done here is have a separate model that is a transparent glass like back uh, texture, and it allows the inside section of this model to have a hook line that you can see, which still follows the design in my model. I hope in the final game I could add like a spark of lightning in between these two hooks, but I doubt I can with the amount of skill I have with me. Maybe in the final game I could get it done, but with the time I'll have for this project, I don't think it's a necessity. Now, what I've decided to do is I've decided to make each part of the model a separate piece. This is because I want to make each of these a task, like you spin the valve and you gotta stop it at a certain point, or press the correct buttons and it turns on. And then of course just charging up your fuel canister to fuel it back up again. I hope to get these done, but I doubt I can get all of them done in time. And the other thing is they need to be separate so I can add a like detection towards certain parts. I could do each of them everything in one model and then just add little box collisions in different sections. But I believe that wouldn't be as good as just, mesh colliding with different parts. So this is what I've done this week, and I will hopefully next time I do more work, I'll hopefully start working on the enemy model, uh, or I'll start working on some engine part models. The challenge that came from making this model, I would say, is from the top hook parts. And texturing this all in. When it came to texturing, it was a big UV to texture in, and I had to find out a lot of parts of what was where, and it was challenging to do. So at moments, I had to just keep checking between Photoshop and Maya to see which parts link with which part of the model. Which is why there's still parts in the hook where it's white instead of where it should have been brown. I believe if I went back onto it, I could just change it to be brown, but I've got to keep on going ahead. Um, Other than that, I wouldn't say that this part is the hardest part. I will say that the whole engine pieces will be harder, and the enemy will probably be the hardest because I've never made a model for a character before, and I've never made a skeleton or animated before in Unreal. I have animated in the past with Unity, seeing as that one's pretty easy to know how it works, and I do not know how animating works on Unreal, so There's a chance that I can get it done by just importing previously used models, but with the time I'll have, I hope I can get a animation working for the enemy. Doesn't matter which animation, just I hope one animation can work for the enemy. Or in general, if it doesn't work, I just hope I get a working enemy still after adding the new model. Because there's been moments in the past where when I import a model, the entire scripts and blueprints would just not work anymore, and then I'd have to reset from scratch again. That's happened to me before in Unity, and a similar thing has happened in Unreal, but not as big as restarting a whole game. So it's all down to hope at this point with most of these things. So I will come back to you if it worked or not.